Morning 29th July 21. Fee versus selection disruption 89. An example that we could benchmark is COVID. 250 countries approx, and then one virus. Now we have different kits of virus, but just one COVID. So we are unable to fight with different policies this virus because it is just one enemy and we are 250 countries. So it's completely incompetent. Yes, this is the word. Incompetent government attitude regarding one policy, you see? So then, if I pay so much money to vaccinate one country, and then the country alongside does not have the same policy, there will be a risk and safety will be in danger. So if we extrapolate, if we benchmark, if we compare the virus situation of policy, 250 countries with one virus, but if we compare the cost of having just one policy for the world, perhaps it would be much competitive, let's say around 99.9% period, and also effectiveness would be 100% because we would all be vaccinated and we would need a second jab or the third jab every year, but we could have normal lives and the virus could be stopped. But if any of these 250 has a different policy, then that shit is done. So what does this have to do with the fee and selection? Well, if my policy is to have 35 suppliers as disruption 88, here the proof is that if we benchmark the cost of each country a different policy for COVID, it's a huge cost. It's incompetency multiplied by 250. Statistical geniuses would go crazy because they multiply the risk and the permutations and the probabilities and the possibilities and the means and the averages and the statistical risk, how well they can achieve 100% risk is amazing. And therefore, what is the cost of avoiding this? Well, we have the experience after 18 months of this COVID approx, and then we can see that the cases are going spiking, and any measures we could really incompetent measures because it's just one virus. So it's very hard to understand this. Statistical numbers are arithmetical, geometrical, exponential, and this is what is going on. So we are playing with this, and the governments are playing with this, but they cannot fight this because it's not possible. So then, if we extrapolate the selection techniques in Crane, it's exactly the same thing. If I have 35 suppliers and therefore I think that before COVID I could solve these selections, it's not possible. And not only is not possible, dear Sipona, but the cost of trying to manage selection at the rate of 100% efficiency and 0% risk or safety first, it's impossible. So it's very good for those that are punctually having this rank or that rank available because there will be an easy owner over there willing to pay whatever the money so the ship does not stop because they did not make a risk assessment situation, whether it is more important to have the minimum money and the safety crew and operational crew or the virus. So I believe it's very important to have the operational crew because if the ship stops, then the show is stopped. There's no more show. It's 100,000 ships in the world. So it is becoming quite impossible, quite difficult. So if we have the strategy of these 35 suppliers, this is what is going to happen. Same thing as with the governments and the virus. Therefore, what is the best possible options out of the risk situations? So we have to make a risk assessment and then verify that, of course, the most important thing is that the ship goes on continues. Safety is first. We must make the reliefs of the crew as soon as possible, and we must try to avoid the virus going on board. How can we do that? Well, if we have 35 suppliers, it's going to be very hard because each will have a different policy. Today, they will change the quarantine, the vaccines, everything, the new kits of the virus, and so on. So we must have just one policy to fight this one policy. Therefore, that's why Candina is your option at the 2% fee, because it's much cheaper to have one supplier so can fight the virus than 35. I hope this example really justifies your new policy change. And you can contact me anytime, 24/7, like and subscribe, because it is very important that we fight these viruses just face to face. Thank you very much indeed. Take care.